Welcome, everybody, to the Genesis Mindset. In today's episodes, I'm going to be talking about affection and the new affection token and its relationship to dysnomia. And in particular, I'm going to go over the recent interview, or one of the recent interviews with Maria that happened in Amsterdam. And I'm going to break down that interview, and I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't fully understand it. So the way that I understand it is to listen to it, hear it, try and take notes, and then relay it to you guys. So I could have some things wrong, but this is the way that I understand it. So I'm pretty sure I'm on the mark, but there's probably one part that I don't fully understand about what Maria's talking about. So with that, let's get into the episode. So affection equals dysnomia. One of the very interesting things about this is actually, yeah, I'll talk about it as we go through it. So what's going on here? Here we go. So here's our boy, our boy Maddie. Maddie is, I got a lot of respect for Maddie and a lot of love for Maddie, and especially someone who is not English, or English is not their native language. His grasp on the English language and the way that he talks was like, he's very intelligent. Even when I had him on the Atropa movement video, I went back and listened to it. I was like, man, he says some awesome stuff. He's really onto it. So yeah, what a dude, man. What a dude. I didn't know he had dreads, but I can see his dreads there. So there you go. So Maddie, shout out to you, Maddie.
Practical one, liquidity pairs. Which liquidity pairs you think would help to stabilize and help the system? Like, what should additional one and also existing ones?
I don't think anymore is necessarily like needed. Everything in place now is pretty good. It's sort of the way that I've thus far approached the dysnomia part, the buy-in, it's going to replace what an appropriate reference liquidity. So the burn buy-ins.
Okay, so I would definitely recommend going and looking back at this particular video about what the whole idea behind burnt liquidity is with the Atropa ecosystem. That's one of the models that it really tried to follow. So now what Maria is saying is that this is going to have burned buy-in. So it's completely different to burnt liquidity. So let's pay attention and listen up.
Yeah, it's not at all. Yeah, that's something completely new to me too.
Right. So the affection token is the main one.
Yeah, I want to speak on into it already.
And so the balance of that token is going to grow to 1 billion, same as the but because of this first buy-in, the buy-in to the affection token is limited. And that's the source of verify. You can see what's going on. But those 1 billion tokens will be the initial only way to buy in all of these new tokens. And so it's like buying arcade. Yeah. The idea is like you buy the affection arcade tokens, and then you're deciding where to go along.
All right, you can get more.
So affection is going to be like the gateway into this new system. That's what he's explaining here.
So it's kind of like once you spend them, that's what it is.
Right. Because there's no initial LP. There's no initial value. The way that you spend your new ecosystem and
because I mean, with a third buy-in now, that's the thing. It's really like throwing one into the arcade with you. That's a great idea.
yeah, the improved in value. The first thing you're going to run out of I think right now I'm probably like 300.
So at the time that Maria was doing this interview, there were about 300,000 in circulation. And he's saying it's going to cap out at 1 billion.
Very far.
So by the time they get from 300,000 the additional tokens that have been created, 34 of them are already sent into those, and that'll be from the effect. And so the effect is defined in this window because it makes burn it off.
It's extremely big.
Yeah. And the remaining supply of the petrol becomes more expensive. Yeah. And because these other tokens are only buyable by the token that's growing and growing, it's going to be
Enigmatic. Interesting word.
If you see it created, even if it's just and they have a predictive but they're not like the reality of
Okay, so we'll just stop that there. So even for yourself, I mean, everybody learns differently, but again, that's how I learn. I listen, I write it down, I try to convey it, and then it connects all the different neurons in my brain. It's the different kinds of forms of learning, which help me to actually understand it on a deeper level. So I'd recommend doing the same, listening to it a few times. That was the end of what he said about affection, but I'm going to leave the link to that interview in the description anyway. But now I'm going to break it down into the key points. So the key points were that, well, this came more so from the whole video, is that the Atropa ecosystem is complete. It's done. So nobody, like, it can't fail. It's done. All the tokens, everything, even in the Amsterdam actual keynote speech, Maria was saying, I think about 100 tokens, and maybe 60 if you take away all the 666 supply. Affection is the gateway token into dysnomia. And he was also explaining in dysnomia that dysnomia is going to be like a separate system, but eventually it's going to, I mean, it's connected to the Atropa ecosystem, but that's complete. Atropa is there. Then there's going to be dysnomia over here. So now affection is going to be the gateway into dysnomia. So there's going to be all these systems of a network of tokens that can only be bought with affection tokens in the dysnomia ecosystem. And obviously the concept there is that the concept behind Atropa was the burnt LP, but here it's going to be burnt buy-ins. So this is a completely 100% unique idea to cryptocurrency so far. So he was describing it as an NFT. So it's like a usable NFT. They're all going to have the same value. So you owning this token, which he was also describing as like an arcade token, once you use it, once you spend it on another token, that's it, it gets burnt. And as it gets burnt, the supply gets reduced. So as the supply gets reduced, the price goes up. So this is where the value is going to come from. The thing with this that's going to make it interesting is it's going to be completely community run. So I don't know how much liquidity Maria's going to put up for it. Obviously, Maria's has put a lot of liquidity up and burnt liquidity in the Atropa ecosystem, but it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be an impact on dysnomia. And of course, he mentioned the total supply of 1 billion. He also mentioned at that time it was 300,000. At the moment, it's about 2.3 million. So it's going up quite fast. So that was about 5 days ago. What is it? The 20th of June. So that was 5 days ago that the supply was 300,000. Now it's what, 2.3 billion. So it's going up at an interesting rate, because yesterday it was 1.3 billion. So it's gone up a billion. So maybe the supply, yeah, maybe it increases at a particular rate. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about how this actually works. So with that, what I'm going to do now is we're going to get into the charts for affection. And I I actually mentioned this in a video. I can't remember if I said this at the start of this video, but I mentioned in a previous video how to find the next 10,000x in the Atropa ecosystem. So there's two things to note here. One, this is not really part of the Atropa ecosystem because it's going to be Dysnomia. So it's connected to Dysnomia rather than the Atropa ecosystem. And two, I was only doing that to show a process. And it's quite interesting to see how many people went and bought it. I think because somebody on YouTube talks about it, they think it's going to do very well. But after hearing how Maria was explaining it, it's really quite interesting that, wow, there is that potential that it could do a 10,000x. But big but, because it's going to be community run. Yeah, let's just see how that goes. So now, how do you actually find it? Because people were asking me, how do I find the affection? Can you please post in the chat, in the description, the tokens? So if I just go here and type affection, look what happens here. So some doggo has created an affection token 6 days ago. So yeah, some piece of shit did this, and this is not the Atropa affection. So maybe it was someone who was 6 days ago, man. That was, I mean, I really wonder if it was someone who overheard Maria talking about it, some scumbag. But there you go. So someone's created affection, but the actual affection is the one with the circle, the A and the circle. This one is not the real affection. This is a fake affection. So please don't go and buy that. If you do want to find the tokens, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to copy and paste the token address because there's no point me copying and paste. I mean, there is a point copying and pasting the token address, but I'd much rather people learn how to learn for themselves. So it's in your benefit in that way. It's safer for you, and it's going to help you develop your skills. So this is the Busy Toby Atropa Pulse chain. So this is the addresses.sol. So this is all the Atropa. Well, this is the majority of the Atropa addresses, as you can see here. I was looking up dreidel. I'm gonna do a dreidel video later today as well, or maybe tomorrow. So dreidel, but we're looking for affection. So Control F affection. So it's going to come up here. Busy Toby affection. This is new. I wonder why that is there, but there you go. So affection is now at the bottom. And then here we go. So this is the contract address here. So then I would copy and paste this. And I've already got it here, but then, yeah, deck screener, copy and paste. And here we go. Now, I put it on log because you can't really see it properly like this because of just because of the way, but I want to highlight this. So at the moment, the supply, well, actually, here's how we're going to figure out the supply. So go real DeFi, go to the block explorer, copy and paste the address here. And I've already pre-done this. So here's the address, and the max supply at the moment is 2.3. I'm going to refresh this actually because I wonder how quickly it goes up, because as I was preparing for this video, so that was 2.378 million. All right, so I'm going to have to reload it. Here we go. So affection is coming up. Okay, so 2.4. So in a few minutes, an extra 300,000 supply. Oh, sorry. 2.37 did I say? So an extra 30,000 supply has been minted. Now, here we go. So this is a trope at a pulse chain. It's not to the pulse chain value at the moment. So I think possibly I would have made a video about it around about here. And again, it was not about affection. I had no idea what affection was at the time. I was simply highlighting a process about how I find and keep track of the new tokens within the Atropa ecosystem. So as you can see, and I also had people like DM me, and this is why it's like, oh man, I have to be really careful with these things as well, because people were DMing me on Twitter like, okay, why is it going down? And I don't know what, like, I'm sorry, bud. I'm not too sure. I wasn't telling you to buy it. I was showing you a process. So yeah, I'm really sorry, but I don't know what to say to that one. Sorry. So well, I mean, as you can see, it's going down, right? So as the supply keeps getting minted, oops, there's a very high likelihood that it's going to keep dropping. So people bought it here with people bought it here after I made the video. It pumped because of the video, and then it dropped because people sold, took profit, and then bought it back up again. Then just naturally it's curving down because of the minting function, because it's being minted. So it's going to keep doing that. So the price is going to get cheaper and cheaper. So if I was to have a strategy for this, when I heard Maria explaining this, I re-entered because I wanted to get more affection. So I bought some. Great. Okay. I actually also like the idea that it's currently a down only token because it's being continuously minted. This is really good for certain arbitrage opportunities. So basically, the way that I'm going to be playing this, not financial advice, is I'm going to continue to keep my eye on this, the supply, because once this gets to 1 billion, that's going to be the lowest it's ever going to get in terms of the natural lows from minting. I mean, people could still be selling it at those points, but from that point, when it gets to 1 billion, that's when I would want to be accumulating, because that's going to be the optimum peak lowest level. Having said that, it might end up getting tons of buy pressure before that 1 billion mark. Maybe people start to catch on to this idea, and then once there's 500 million in supply, people are going to start buying it up. So then it's going to fight against the downward momentum by all the inflows of liquidity that's coming into it. So I'll be just scaling in, but yeah, for now, I'm honestly not really interested in buying it at the moment. But now, if we look at this, so it's going down because it's being minted. So if we zoom out a little, so let's zoom out. I'm just going to go to the daily chart just for now. So, oh boy. So if we zoom out, and it keeps going down, maybe daily is a little bit too. But eventually it's going to hit that low. Like I said, let's just say, let's pull this down here. Let's say the low is all the way down here. So for about, let's go all the way here. It's going to be more, but anyway. Then what's going to happen? Once it hits that low, then it's not just going to come through buy pressure because it's a buy and burn. So this is quite fascinating. So once it gets to this low, by this time, hopefully our boy, Maria, is... yeah, hopefully by then the Dysnomia is well underway. There's an ecosystem of tokens starting to pop up, and entering into the ecosystem is going to be through affection, and then they get burnt. So let's say here there's going to be 1 billion supply. So at this point, there's 1 billion supply. This is the lowest, it's the maximum supply that it's ever going to be. Then all of a sudden, we've got 5 tokens that you can buy into within Dysnomia. And the only way to buy into those 5 tokens is with some affection. So what's going to happen? Maybe, we don't know what it's going to be. Maybe to buy this token here, let's get some circles. I should add the circles to my favorite as well, because I do quite like using the circles. Where are you, circle? This is why I put them on my favorites, so I don't have to look for them all the time. My apologies. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me just quickly add it so I don't forget. Add it to your favorites. Just little hacks for everyone anyway. All right. So here's one token. And 1 token. 2. So these are the first few tokens that are being released on Dysnomia. Let's just say hypothetically. So this is a completely hypothetical scenario. And so affection. So let's say this one is lovers. This one is homies. This one is, oops. Okay, that's our low. That's our low. Let's just say that's our low point. Let's just make this this one's our bays. This is bay and bays. So what do we got? Lovers, bays, homies, the boys, the gals, right? So affection, these are the 5 tokens that you can enter into Dysnomia through affection. This one's 10, this one's 100 affection, this one's 1,000 affection, this one's 10,000 affection, this one's 1,000,000 affection. It's not going to be like this, but this is just to exaggerate this point. So as these tokens then start being burnt into this supply, they're going to disappear from the supply. So again, if we go here, at the moment, there's 2.4 million. Eventually that's going to be 1 billion and it's going to stop at 1 billion. Then as you buy into these tokens, that supply is going to get reduced. So it's going to be so then it's going to be 999 million or 999,500,000. So the supply is going to keep going down, and then it's going to depend what kind of buyer pressure is going to happen into the dysnomia ecosystem. It's going to have to come through affection and into the dysnomia ecosystem. So this is going to make it a really, really interesting experiment. So that's why Maria was looking quite excited, because it's something completely new. So yeah, like I said, the supply is only ever going to continue to diminish, and it's eventually, we don't know how long this is going to take. I mean, we don't know what the plans are for dysnomia. I'm sure he's got some rough plans, but eventually it could end up getting to this kind of a price. And so, again, this is 100x. So right, so not 100x. That's a 2x. Because okay, yeah, the price, it won't. I mean, even if it. Okay, here we go. So then this is where you can start to get your 10,000 X's. So obviously, again, please take this with a grain of salt, and like, yeah, none of this is financial advice. But look at this. So from here to this particular point here, where everybody started buying it up, that was a 75x. So from the lows there to there, it was a 75x. So people have lost a ton of value, and so I'm looking at this as a long-term hold anyway. But again, like I said, I'm going to continue to accumulate this all the way as it comes down. And I want to really accumulate the maximum amount when it gets to close to 1 billion supply. So that is how I'm going to play affection. Not financial advice. That's just my thinking around it. What do you guys actually think? Are you guys excited? I certainly am. I'm very excited because the Atropa ecosystem, I'm running my own experiments with the Atropa ecosystem. I've been studying it for a long time. It's a fascinating thing. And when you hear Maria say that it can't fail, it's very fascinating. And it's like, yeah, it can't fail because the liquidity is so spread out. So that there's really no way for it to fail unless, I mean, is there an unless? If everybody at the same time took all their liquidity out into Pulse Chain at the very same time, everybody would have to do it. So the thousands of people would have to do it at the same time within every single token, then it would fail. But that's an impossibility because, I mean, well, one, it's not a realistic scenario because no one's going to do that. But even from the perspective of the congestion on the blockchain, it's not possible. Even from the perspective of the time function for everybody to actually sell all at the same time is not a realistic thing. So I quite literally mean I would have to sell my TSFI and Atropa and Bear all within the split same second. So it's actually an impossible scenario because as you do that, as this one goes down, that one's going to go up. And that's the beauty of the Atropa ecosystem. So very interesting. I'm fascinated by affection. It's like, man, I want to cover other things, but even when Maria came out and speaking, I was like, holy shit, there's so many things to talk about here. There's so many things to deconstruct and so many things to learn. Like, I have more orange shirts than all of my friends combined. I really wanted to talk about the Tang Gang. I ended up getting ostracized by the community. So I'm just like, okay, fair enough. I can't be bothered. But really, every time I try and expand out, there's always something new to cover in the Atropa ecosystem. It's like, God damn. And it's so much fun and people really enjoy it. And that also makes me enjoy it. So with that, thank you very much. Hopefully that made some sense. And yeah, what do you guys think? Leave comments in the description below. And I look forward to hearing from you what you understood about the affection token.